Hi everybody, I'm so glad. Keep on chatting in the chat. I love it too. I love to be able to engage with you guys. This is now officially called our Friday live builds. This is the time for us to work together and explore really the depth of what can be built with building systems in our lives to not only organize ourselves better, to be more intentional, to have more meaning in our lives, and I think most important of all, to have some fun, to enjoy this whole process, enjoy this journey, and what's life without a little fun? So Krista says she's got the email. That means we can start. Well, I mean, I assume from everyone else's silence, that means that they got it too, and they're just so busy trying to find it. So I'm gonna walk you through everything. Let's get started, guys. Really excited. Let's go. So welcome to the L control system. Essentially, what we can do here is actually, let me go grab the master L control. Perfect. So what's changed? I want to give you guys a big preview first over everything that's been changed, and then let's go micro. And especially for everybody who has questions about specific parts of the system, please hold them and please make sure you ask them, because I want to make sure that all those questions are answered. So first of all, if you ever want to know what is new in our systems, all you have to do is go to our toolbox, and we have this thing called toolbox updates, what's new. And you can always see that what's coming up next in our next update. So I'm going to be working on collaboration dashboards and a dashboard for Wall Street. That's a whole other thing for the finance tracker. But you can kind of see exactly right now for the April 2nd version, what's included in this template. And for example, you're like, whoa, what is this ultimate medical tracker? What is this thing, right? If I open it up, you can see exactly why did we build this template? What does it do? What does it do specifically, and how it works? And if you click on how it works, okay, it'll lead you to a page where we have our brand new Academy. And this is a resource that I built live on stream, I think around 2-3 weeks ago. And it's just taken me, so much intentional effort to come in and add in everything, because when you scroll through, look at this, we have our whys, we have our whats, but our hows, I detailed out every single property of every single database, and especially the special properties that make the whole thing work. So for example, relations to other databases, roll-ups, formulas, calculation properties. So if you ever want to change anything in the system, if you ever want to figure out, hey, how do I modify different properties so that I can fit my own use cases, this is exactly where you can go to find that out. So you can keep scrolling. Like I even recommend you what the views I recommend you for, list views. And really it's just a very comprehensive space where I'm hopefully that I can keep giving you more and more information that's going to be able to help you expand your knowledge about the system, and most importantly, master it. Because the idea isn't that I want you to take everything as is. I really want to give you the fundamental first principles of everything that I'm sharing. And I think even Nelvis, one of our level up students, had a comment about this where it's almost like all the books she's ever read on self-help and self-development are found inside the system. And again, that's exactly the point. A lot of times we're trying to go out there and learn new information and find out more how we can do things better. When we go to courses, we go to seminars, we go read books, but we don't know how exactly to put that into action. Well, that's the difference that we're making here today. Why I'm so excited about the work we're doing at COEX3 is because all the work that we're doing is essentially taking all the things that are being taught out there. Again, there's nothing new under the sun, right? All those big concepts and first principles that so many people are taking advantage of and being successful in their lives as a result of that, right? But not enough. I want to make that available to all. And this is the important part of the system. And really, I think there's so much to be learned from being able to dive into this. Now, one thing is that it takes me around 2-3 hours per article to write all this, because of course I have to go into every single property, I have to get into every single view and explain them all. So not everything is in there yet, I will be honest. but I have put all the placeholders for all the contents that I'm going to create. It's around maybe 50%, 60% there. And I will be sure to continue adding more details as we go on, and hopefully by the end of this weekend all of it will be out, but it'll be a very busy weekend for me for sure. But if you have any information that you want to put in as well, there's going to be a very nice collaborative element to this. If you ever want to help add articles into this, so for example, you're seeing all the collections and you're like, hey, you know, I have a tip on setting up the workspace, right? Feel free to come in and throw in some information into there, and we'll be very happy to get your contribution and see how it helps other people as well. Another really important thing about this new academy is that you can now search for articles. So for example, let's say I was looking for something about medical or doctors, okay? And you know, just now I showed you that we had something called healthcare management. Well, now if I search this, I can see, hey, this is all these things to do with healthcare management. I can see everything that's within this template and everything that's detailed in there. We also mentioned in our Patreon update just now that we have a brand new website. I'll leave scrolling through it for yourself to go through, but all the illustrations were done by scratch by me, and you know, based on many of the members in our community. So if you spot one that looks kind of like you, know that it's not a coincidence, it was intentional. And actually we hope to give more little cameos like that for really important members of our community that are in here, you know, trying to live their best life and just really embracing that community feeling together with us. And while I'm here, I just wanted to show you something on the bottom right. I'm going to move my face for a quick second. But basically here's our brand new chatbot, and this chatbot is really helpful because you can come in here and you can ask a question, but on top of that you can also get specifically, like let's say I want to know how to duplicate template, for example. We'd be able to find different answers from our knowledge base. Actually, duplicate is here. We'll be able to find answers from our knowledge base, right? How to duplicate a Notion template. And then you'll be able to essentially get the answers you need before someone gets back to you, because I know that always, you know, one of our values that we embrace is patience. We're still quite a new community and we don't have all the resources out yet. So if you ever want to find anything from here on out, this is how you can find it. So that's another really quick thing for me to show, and something I'm just very proud of and thankful that we have now. So thanks for watching that. And now let's get into the crux of it. Let's get into our system. Let's talk a bit about what the latest things have been changed. And actually one thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to update this view so that you can actually see what is what, in the sense of you can see you can see was it a enhancement, was it a new template, you know, what kind of change was it? And I think that's something that's very useful, so I'm going to hit that for you, and then I'm going to refresh the screen and see if that loads. Awesome, Shannon, I'm glad you got the email now. Okay, yeah, so now you can see that you can see what was updated, right? Perfect. So I'm just going to go through a little bit, I think bit by bit. If you have a specific one you want me to look through, let me know, but I'm just going to go through like a macro view of what kind of the intention was for a lot of the changes this month, or these 2-3 months. And then I'm going to go into a walkthrough of how I use the system. And I think that's something that a lot of people are very curious about, like, you know, what exactly are the most useful things for me? Like, what moves the needle for me, right? Because obviously not everything is applicable to you all the time. So I think that's a very good example that I can demonstrate for you guys, like say, hey, you know, this is the way I use it. If you enjoy this, if you need that, then you can, you know, do those kind of things. So I think that's pretty good. Anyways, we have 5 new templates, which is pretty crazy, guys. 5 new templates, and we built a few of them on stream, so we always have that. So if we ever build something on stream, we'll include a video and we'll show you like, hey, you know, this is what was built, and if you want to follow along, you can build it as well. But otherwise, if you already have the new template, you can just pull it from the system. I want to show you how to do that too. I figured out a very interesting and cool way that if you just want to pull a new template out from the new package, I can show you how that works. And I'm also going to show you guys this. Okay, so we also have a new autobiography template. Basically, this one is, again, another one built on Stream. And again, the big, I think the big overarching theme for these few months was about how can we better self-reflect, right? So we have something like the dashboard. How do we better self-reflect so that we can give ourselves the confidence that we're accomplishing all that we're set out to do? And on top of that, how can we learn the most? How can we learn from ourselves in our past, like from our autobiography? And then how can we learn from great people that have already done the things that we want to do in the future, right? With the mentorship management. So these are all really important things and really cool things that kind of come together and really just shape our life to be better and better. And I will walk you guys through that as I go through the system of how I use the system as well. So don't worry about that. For the improvements, similar thing. Monthly review cycles improvement is more about, you know, being able to see our progress through our week, through our month, a lot better, a lot easier. Areas of competence, we have new roll-ups for dates in focus to be able to see them really easily. We also have things like My Network enhancement. I think this one's pretty crazy. This one's pretty good. Is that in the past, when you had to go to My Network and add different dates of last contacted for each person. Basically what happens is that you have to do it very manually. You have to go in, you have to add in, hey, I last contacted them yesterday or her, you know, today. But now it's all automatic because essentially we're pulling information from the notable chats, which is also another template included in your system, so that means that whenever you have a meaningful conversation and you document that with another network member, immediately it will automatically show all the dates that are the last dates of contacts. And again, it's just a very, very cool integration. I'll show you guys that too as we go on and show you how I use the system. By the way, hi Alyssa, good to see you. Keep lurking. So yeah, and then one really cool thing that we did this last month was the social exercise. The social exercise is amazing. I have to say why, because you usually, when you try to get to know someone better, right, you ask all sorts of questions about how their life is going, but it's really about, like, you know, specific things are happening that are on top of mind. It doesn't really go deeper. So what these social exercises is doing is that it helps to go really deep into understanding your friends, understanding your family members in terms of how fulfilled do they feel based on the social scale, based on, you know, how they feel in terms of social resources, in terms of their occupation, their income, their abilities, their love and intimacy. And just really, it's a really cool exercise. I recommend you guys try it if you are invested in the My Network template. Just awesome stuff. You guys should check it out. Aside from that, a lot of things to do with like happiness. I've been really exploring the depths of how to be happy. I'm trying to systematize that. That's my new goal or my new objective for this year. So I have a blog coming out about that. So if you're interested about that, do let me know. But basically, you know, last year's I've been really focusing on optimizing for productivity. How do I get things done in the fastest amount of time, in the most efficient way, and in the most meaningful way, so that it builds towards where I want to go. But from here on out, I'm trying to figure out how I can build a system that not only keeps you productive, but also keeps you happy and fulfilled. So I think that's a very interesting point. And again, all towards the angle of self-actualization. That's really cool stuff. A lot of things improved for this, the success plan properties. You can check that out at your own time. There's a brand new values exercise to help you figure out your values in the areas of competence. It's really cool. It's based on, I think, I don't remember which university I grabbed it from, one of the Ivy League schools that they were sharing, you know, this is kind of a framework or a process of how you can fine tune your areas. And from there, I was able to create a Notion template to kind of, you know, help you distill it down. We have templates for meaningful conversations, just to structure your conversations as you're getting them. Again, something I will show you as I go through the system in a second. And then I also want to show you guys, there's a much easier way to manage your daily quest now. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. You don't even know. Like, previously when you had to update your daily quest, you had to change like so many different multipliers and and keep track of how many habits and those kind of things. Right now, it's much easier when you want to do modifications when adding or removing daily quests. I will show you how that works in this stream, don't worry, but this improvement is big, guys. It's big. It's big as well. And then just a new habit section for bedtime progress, because that's been really helpful for me, and hopefully it'll be helpful for you guys as well. And that's about it. That's like the big overview. Altogether, this was like hundreds of hours of updates and improvements. So I do hope you guys all appreciate that. But let's get straight into it. I will show you how I use the system. Maybe you guys can also duplicate the system at the same time as well, so that we can all work along each other. But basically, this is now the build together kind of stage. I hope you guys can navigate to your own systems and also follow along so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can find it. And if you have any questions when you're trying it out right now, you can ask me as well. Okay, fun stuff. Let's do it. All right. First thing I want to show you guys, I'm sure if you guys are already patrons, you guys know how to duplicate a template, but on the off chance that that's not completely something you guys know, basically at the top right, there will be a duplicate button. When you click on the link that you found in your email, click that link, duplicate it to a workspace that you want, and you can go from there. One really cool thing that I don't think I've ever mentioned before is that if you choose to duplicate it into our team plan that you have access to as a community member, you actually get unlimited storage, you get revision histories, you get a chance to invite well, I guess you can't invite collaborators, but basically if you ever wanted a personal pro plan and you didn't have one and you just wanted to use something that's already available, our team plan is actually available for you to use just by benefit of being inside our community. So check that out, take advantage of that if you need it. But otherwise, if you have like a education email or something like that, or your current students, you'll be able to get the pro plan for free anyway. Okay, so if you want to grab a specific system and plug it into your current existing templates, what you can do is actually go into the backend and views, and you just need to grab any one of them. So for example, let's say you only want the My Health dashboard, right? And you want to take it away. So My Health dashboard plus the medical tracker. Actually, this should be here. Interesting. Okay, anyway, the My Health dashboard and the medical tracker. So basically what you can do is you can just right click and then you can duplicate it. And then when you duplicate it, basically what happens is you're just creating a whole new copy of everything involved in this, right? All the databases, all the views that are available. And the best thing for you to do actually, I remember while I was there, is for you to copy both of them at the same time and duplicate them together so that the linked views stay connected. It's a bit of an interesting process. I might actually decide to show you right now just so that we have, a good process going. Let me think about that. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. What you could do as well, actually. Okay, let me show you the best way to do it. There's a very easy way to do it. So let me go to the system right now. I'm going to go into, for example, last quarter system. So give me a second. I'm going to go there. I hadn't planned this out, but I think it's a good time to try this out with you guys. So if I go to my last year's out control, or my last month's out control, last quarter's out control. Right, so this is last quarter's out control, right? And if I go into the backend and views, obviously we don't have the medical tracker. We don't have that medical tracker database. But what we can do, which is pretty interesting, is you can always do this. So we can start a staging area. So we call this migration, we call this page. And this is going to be the migration of, okay. And then what happens is if I just grab the link of this, so if I copy a link of this, oops, and then I paste it into here, I link to page, and then I copy the link of the medical tracker, and then I paste it as a link as well, link to page. And then I copy also the, let's say I also copy the, let's also take the, I need the tutorial. So I want to make sure the tutorial is coming with it. So I'm going to build your own system. I'm going to find the tutorial here. So the tutorial is found inside the healthcare management. Okay. And then if I also grab this, I'm going to copy this link and then I paste it here. Now we have 3 linked views. But why is that important? Well, this is important because when you have these linked views, what you can do actually is when you duplicate all these 3 at the same time, they actually become real databases. Let me show you what I mean. It might be a bit not understood if I don't just show you guys. So let me show you. So if I copy all these 3 and then I do the duplicate command, basically what happens is that they automatically make a copy of all 3, which is really good. And when you make a copy of all 3, basically what you can do now is you can now pull it out, right? So if I go to the backend and views, I can now pull it out and drag it into the right area into my system. And I can still know that everything is still connected for my system. So for example, if I ever want to go into my health dashboard, everything's connected and I have a copy to plug into my system, which is now properly, modified for my use cases. So this is for someone that already has a lot of data in their system and they don't want to upgrade to the new version. They don't want to migrate data out and they just want to copy data in. Basically, this is what you can do. You can just grab specific systems and you can drag and drop it into your system. So that's a step, and I will have a very detailed guide for that. Don't worry. I'm glossing over this now because in the interest of doing this live stream, but I will have a very detailed guide for you when the time comes inside our academy. So that's really interesting. Okay, so without further ado, I do want to walk you guys through how I use the system so that you guys can get some ideas of how you can use it too. And then hopefully you guys have some questions for me as well, and I'm always very happy to answer them. Okay, so what dashboards are the most critical for me? 2 dashboards primarily. The Make Life Simple daily planning are my daily drivers. So for example, in daily planning, I'll go in every single day and I usually save this to my favorites. So it's on my sidebar. Basically, I come in here and I'm able to see all the different missions that are available for me to do. And these missions are based on the current goals, key results, projects that I'm currently having to think about this week. And these things are planned out inside our review cycles, which I will go through. But I just want to make sure that you guys know that. So every single day, this is what I look at. I'm like, okay, these are the upcoming key results that I'm going to get done for the week, right? Or at least for the month. So everything that I'm doing, all the projects I'm working on and all the missions that I'm working on, all the tasks should relate to this key result, should in some way help me get closer to this outcome. And if it doesn't, I'm doing something probably wrong. I'm working on something that's not as intentional as I like to be. For this section, I'm able to see all the projects that I have decided to be in focus. So whether they're the ones that are currently in focus, they have an upstream focus. These are all things that are showing me that I need to take a look at, and I need to really keep in mind that these are the things I'm going to work on. On top of that, I'm able to see all the incomplete projects. So all the different projects I could be working on, I can see them here. So just in case I had something that came up in my inbox that just came up on top of my mind, I want to drag it somewhere, I can drag it into one of my projects. And how I do that, if you guys hadn't seen me do it before, basically I'm saying, let's say I had a new shower thought ABC. I would just drag it into one of my projects. Let's say it was ad hoc in this case. And then I'd be able to just drag it into my task list. And then boom, immediately it's a task. And if this item, right? So let's say if this item ad hoc became in focus, right? Just for example, it would actually show up inside my mission board as well. So let me show you. Shower thought ABC is now in here. If the project wasn't in focus, then it doesn't show up inside my mission board. So it's actually very, very smart. This is a very, very smart template, a very, very smart system where every day I'm only seeing the things that I need to work on based on the priority and based on the focus of the project or the upstream at hand, whether it's the project level or the key result level or even the goal level. I also have something for weekly workflows. So for example, if I have a weekly workflow here that says that I need to do investment calibration, then this is something that I can drag into my active quest. And this is something that I recently built. This is a part of the new updates where we've solved recurring tasks. If you ever want to do recurring tasks, this is the way you do it. There's a whole video on that if you want to watch it. But essentially the idea is that if I have something to do, and you can see actually if I look at the week view, there's something to do every single day, right? So if it was Monday, I can water my plants and stuff like that. But if I go into my weekly workflows, it'll show me only what's for today. So today for me is Saturday in the Singapore time. So what I can do is I can just drag this into my quest. Boom, it automatically shows what's the upstream. So investment calibration is for my finance tracker. It automatically already has the difficulty and the priority that usually it is for me, and I'm just able to schedule it within my day, and simple as that. So it becomes very, very simple for me to work. Sorry, I was covering it, but very, very simple for me to go in and create recurring tasks and work off of them. So really good stuff. Another thing that I want to show you guys is basically how I prioritize. So let's say I didn't have any these priorities here, okay? What happens is it will help me prioritize things that are late, first of all, or at least the most urgent to do. And then it will show me based on, the priority of things or the impact it's going to make to my life. So for example, if I had two items that had the exact same dates, so let's say this was also Feb 23rd, right? Let's just say it was that. And this one was low, then it'll go down. If this one's high, it goes up. So automatically, I'm already able to see what I should prioritize. And based on this, I can just say, hey, this was on the top. I probably should eat the frog, which just means that it's the hardest thing for me to do. I'm going to do it first. Maybe the second one is my first priority, and then so on, so on. So what happens though, why that's important, is because when I'm able to have these priorities, and let's say I make this the fifth priority, when I'm able to have these priorities, what I can do is I can go into my other page now, which is my execution page. So my Make Life Simple page. And I can go in here and I can start really scheduling out my day. So how I come into this, how I use this system is that every single morning I come in here and I work on my daily routines, my morning routines. I say what time I woke up. So maybe today I woke up at 6 a.m., right? And then if I woke up on time, if I made my bed, if I drank water, if I meditated, if I exercised. So basically it gives me a really good reminder of, how my day is going so far. I'm already feeling good. You have to remember that. It's all about giving yourself the incentives to continue on your journey, right? Continue doing the things that are good for you. And for you to do that, you need to really have some kind of incentive model. And in this case, we're giving ourselves incentives by saying, hey, every time I do exercise, let's say I did a stretch in the morning, I'm able to then move up in progress. Maybe I had a cold shower. Maybe I ate some breakfast. Maybe I took my supplements. Maybe I did my today's 5. Maybe I wrote a little. All these things add up, and now I feel good about my day. On top of that, I then go, right? So if you actually look at my weekday schedule, let me just show you how that looks. So my weekday schedule looks like this, right? I wake up, I meditate, exercise, I eat my breakfast. I have a meeting with my team at work, and then I start writing. I write for around 30 minutes to an hour, just really getting the creative juices out of my head. And then I start planning my day. So when I go plan my day, this is where I go, the daily planning, right? I see what are the projects that I've already designated to be worked on this quarter or this week. And then I figure out exactly what I'm going to get done specifically on a task level to push forward my day. I try to get 5 things into here, into my active quests. I try not to get more than 5 just because I feel like I end up trying too hard in terms of overshooting what my capabilities are for each day in terms of energy level, and then you end up doing nothing, right? You end up burning out. So for me, I'm very realistic. I'm like, okay, how many things can I focus on? Probably 5 things. So I'm gonna focus on 5, and I'm gonna try to make sure all 5 things kind of relate to each other in a way, so that if I can finish one thing, it leads to the other very seamlessly, and I don't have to do much shift in my thinking. because that costs you, right? The switching cost. Okay, back to make life simple. Basically, after that's done, I come in here and I get work done. So I have a timer in here that's pretty useful. This timer basically helps me do Pomodoros. I think that it doesn't really work right now. It's a bit laggy. But what you can do is you can always just open up in the original, and then you can just use that and then use the start stop. So very simple as that. But basically what I do is I come into here and I start working on the things that I meant to do. So I go into my preferred view in the go get that bread. And basically what happens here normally, right, is that I have all these things inside my time block. And then I start seeing like, what should I work on first, right? And again, I can see them already sorted in terms of priority. So I'm like, okay, that's great. I should start working on this first, right? Because this is the first priority. And maybe this is the second thing I work on, right? And then I have some opportunities to work there. This is the third thing I work on. And then that's all, right? So one block for me is usually around 2 hours, so around 4 pommels. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4 pommels. This one's probably a 10-minute task, 2 times 5, right? And then this one is going to be 4 blocks. So maybe that is going to take a long time. Maybe I move this to block 3. So you can kind of see this, how I kind of schedule out my day, right? And I kind of see exactly what I can expect for the day to come, which gives me just so much clarity. You have no idea. It gives me so much clarity. And when I'm done something, I can just drag it down into here, into this section, and then immediately it shows that I completed the task, how much gold I earned, and I should actually, let me pick one that has a due date, because let's see, I picked this one. So it shows me that, was I late to do it? Was I on time? Was I early? And of course, because there's a lot of demo data, a lot of this stuff is already late because it's from last quarter's demo data. But anyway, just as an example, okay? I'm just gonna undo things so it stays relevant for you guys. It looks the same as how you guys see it. So yeah, so this is a really good view for me in order to get things done. Now, what's important though is making sure that I take meaningful breaks as I'm working. So let's say lunchtime runs around and I'm like, okay, it's time to eat some lunch. What I like to do is I actually like to reach out to my network during that time. I like to connect with the people that I care about and hopefully care about me. So I go to this toggle here to keep loved ones close, and I can see, okay, wow, I saw this person last on April 20th. And this person I had a noble chat with, it's a mentor. I should probably reach out, right? I said I should reach out weekly. So based on this information, I can go and reach out to my network and I can see, okay, what was the last things we talked about? What were the things that, they cared about, right? And depending on what's already auto-filled here or pre-filled here, and I'm going to just use the new template to show you guys, this gives me a really good opportunity to come in here and really just figure out exactly, what I'm missing in terms of understanding this person better, right? Again, if someone I care about, I should understand them better and better. So this social exercise is something I mentioned earlier, something I really recommend you do with your friends and family. Really just ask simple questions about, how do you currently feel about your social resources? How do you currently feel about your occupation, your children and family members, income and other sources of wealth? And basically you just score on the spectrum. It's like, hey, am I fulfilled? Am I completely fulfilled? Am I not very fulfilled? And what's the trend, right? And how important is it to you? And just through this, you can start having some really meaningful conversations. By the way, hi, Michael. Good to see you. Hopefully you're not joining us from the hospital still. You're very dedicated. I appreciate that. Tuning in all times of the day. But yeah, so really intentional template. I like using this just to remind myself who I should reach out to during the times when I have downtime, when I'm taking a break, just really catching up with the people I care about. And then get back to work, another 4 chunks. I take a quick break for, dinner and snacks. Two more chunks of work. I also fit in meetings at the same time. And then I have social activities after all my work. I have dinner again with my network. And again, I open that template up. Another really interesting thing for you guys, if you guys don't make good enough use of the inbox yet, you really should. The inbox is such an amazing tool because it gives you the ripe opportunity to just throw in anything you want. A lot of times you might feel intimidated that you have to put in information. It's like, oh, I have to start categorizing everything. Is this a project? Is this a task? Is it, something I want to read? Is it something I want to do? That's a lot of mental burden for real. So what I recommend, just throw it into inbox, and at the end of the day, just start categorizing it all in one go so that you don't have to have that mental burden, that tax on your mind. It's really important for you to realize. So another really important thing that I do here is personal development. And when it comes to personal development, I use this toggle here. So I like to improve every single day. It shows me all the knowledge that I'm currently reading. And it shows me, for example, this book, I can see all the summarization I'm doing, all the storage, my RemNote blocks. I really recommend RemNote, by the way. It's really helping lots in terms of connecting all the thoughts I have and all the different books I'm reading, all the articles I'm reading. So after you summarize all the content you have, again, we have a live stream on this as well, but after you summarize all the content that you have, being able to throw it into your RemNotes so that it stores and starts connecting with other REMs that you have in there, amazing. And of course, if you use Roam or use other tools, similar Obsidian, that kind of thing. But basically, I just spend an hour and I start reading. By the way, guys, I might start doing a reading live inside the community. I might start just having the session together with you guys. If you guys like that, let me know. I really do hope to do more of these things. Like, for example, writing in the morning, I hope to do that on stream, rather on Gilded in our community, reading together with you guys. Just however I can to help instill all these best practices and these behaviors which are helpful for you, these habits that I've built up now, impart them to you guys by having some kind of peer pressure and like a camaraderie feeling. Yeah, happy to do that with you guys. Skills practice is also something very interesting. Generally at this level, when I'm going to skills practice, I'm looking back into my daily quest. So something that you guys should do is when you reach the midday routines, you should kind of check off if you've done certain things. So have you eaten lunch yet? If you have, maybe you ate some ramen. Have you reached out to your network, as I mentioned? Do you take a meaningful picture? I like taking pictures so that I can actually have a nice collage of how my month has went when I look back in the gallery view. So that's really useful. And if I ate any fruits, so you can see 80% now. I like to do my evening routines as well. So for example, maybe I ate, I don't know, shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie. I did not spell that right, I think. Shepherd's pie, I think it's E. And then if I read personal development, if I did skills practice, so I can pick something out of here. Maybe I, practice my piano. Did I do my finances? That's something that if you are someone that tracks your finances, which I do, you can put that in there as well. Did you play any games? This is something I recently added thanks to the suggestion of Alex. Alex gave me the great suggestion that says, basically if you treat gaming, for many of the gamers in our community, if you treat gaming as something that's evil and something you shouldn't do, you end up forming an unhealthy relationship with it. Whereas if you embrace it and you do a little bit every day, just 30 minutes, you start building a healthy habit of relaxation and, being able to stimulate your brain in a different way. So if you like that, throw it in as well. Bedtime routines, very good stuff as well. This after the night. Okay, let me show you guys. So reflection, this is where I start using a new template called Captain's Log. And Captain's Log has been so helpful for me. I've been using it for a month now after the live stream ended, and I really have to say it's been awesome. So hopefully you guys find the same value in it as I did. But basically Captain's Log is inside the gamification dashboard, and you can come into here and kind of see all the different wins that you had recently. So you can see all your wins that you've had. And then you can also see the progression of how your day has went so far. So for example, you kind of see so far it's 50% because I haven't finished the latter half of my day. So the reflection progress and the bedtime progress I haven't done yet. So I can also see the recent things I've been reading and I've been learning from, which is great. So what I do is I go into here and I start doing my today's reflection. And I also look back a bit. I look back and say, okay, how's my week looked like? What did I say yesterday that I wanted to sleep on? And what did I say yesterday I wanted to do today? So these are all important things that make me kind of reflect. And again, I just sit down here for like half an hour, just really try to pour out everything that I remember about the day, try to pour out everything that I liked about my day as well. So I can fill it up. Maybe it was friendship, maybe it was bonding, maybe it was educational. What I'd like doing, as always, I did a live stream, what I feel good about doing, mistakes I've made, just any mistakes that you have, making people wait, perhaps it's one of them for me for today. Meaningful convos that you had, maybe you had a new one. And again, like I mentioned, now that you have this meaningful convo that connects into your daily quest and as well connects into your My Network, automatically it shows you as last contacted is today. So let me just show you an example. So let's say today I said, I had a conversation, life goals maybe is the conversation I had with someone. I create a new page, and then I'm going to figure out that this is a new conversation. I did it with let's say Jane Doe. Now immediately under Jane Doe, I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to open in a new tab. Is that the last contacted is 4 hours ago. Okay, so last contacted is 4 hours ago, which means that the chat, let's see, 4 hours ago. There's a little bit of a bug here. It's interesting. I'll fix that later. But the whole idea is that you can see that last contact is 4 hours ago, so you can kind of see last seen was on the 3rd, and basically you can see like special events that tell you, hey, should you reach out now? Should you not reach out now? Should you reach out later? These are all important things for you to go and figure out, exactly how are you going to go about doing it. How are you going to go about reaching out to this person? So another really good thing for you to kind of figure out is I want to show you the things I'm grateful for. These are things that you can connect to. These are things that we've seen before. So live stream going smoothly is great. How intentional were you today? So this is based on how many things I got done that were on my to-do list, not just ad hoc things that I did, just willy-nilly. How happy I was, what I want to sleep on, just sleep on how I can get more sleep. And then what can I do tomorrow is, release more content. So just stuff like that. And you can see the reflection progress is now 100%. And if I scroll up here, same with that, reflection progress is now 100%. Now, if I ever flip back to my Make Life Simple, I can see that I can do my bedtime routines. So these are the things I do to wind down. So I can tidy up my room. Maybe I cleaned up my desk. I can drink some water at night. By the way, hydrate, guys. Don't forget to hydrate. Drink some water. So I hydrate. Maybe I floss. Maybe I put in my retainers. I fall asleep. And now I have 100%. And if I ever go back to look at my captain's log for today, my overall progress is 91%. So today was a good day. So you can kind of see, like, on a day-by-day basis, I have so much to look forward to, right? Just to summarize quickly, I'm able to see exactly what I need to work on based on the things I've already planned out for the week and for the month from my recurring workflows and from my review cycles, which I will show you guys also how I go through that. I also am able to see all the things that I need to work on a day-by-day basis from the Make Life Simple. All right, I can see my schedules. I can see the things I have to do that are specific. And again, once I finish planning on my daily planning, I just completely focus on making life simple. I don't need to worry about everything else. I don't want to worry about anything else. I just want to focus on getting things done, right? That's the most important thing. And for me, like, one thing that I started doing from my personal side, maybe I will show you guys this. I think it's quite nice. One thing I started doing on my personal side is okay, let me show you how mine looks like right now. So this is how mine looks like. Again, it's the same Make Life Simple as yours. So you guys can make this as pretty as you want as well. So I have this image that just kind of reminds me of a game, reminds me of my childhood, Maple Story. And basically what you can see is I put some mantras over here on the left side. So it's up to you. I like that I have this mantra really high up for me to look at. These are all things that matter for me, in the sense that, you know, these are things that relate to being more stoic in my life, you know, being more appreciative, taking care of my health, taking care of me. So these are things that don't necessarily go into a database, but rather are just things I need to remember and remind myself from time to time. So if this is helpful for you, also add something like that in, because I think that is a great addition to any dashboard and any template that you have. On top of that, I'm able to still navigate. So I actually use these to navigate around. You can see I moved mine up in my system, but you can use these to navigate around. For example, you want to see everything that has to do with lifestyle. You can go in and you can see like, oh, okay, these are all the things to do with lifestyle. These are all my goals, my sub areas. These are all the things I care about, right? That relate to this area. So it becomes a file storage system. I think that's something that I have to really emphasize, is that the important thing about the system is that you shouldn't have to click more than 3 times to find something. And on top of that, you shouldn't have to be lost in finding any kind of meaningful and interesting goal or project or task or, you know, sub area, anything that relates to that area. You need to be able to find it very easily. So that's the way I do it. Okay, another really important template that I use on a day-by-day basis to help you guys along, and not by a day-by-day basis, but if I ever have like a big picture view and I really want to see and share like what I care about right now, I go into this, it's called alignments, and I show basically, oh, these are all the areas that I currently care about. These are all my values. I can show my values as well. These are the goals I'm working on. For example, the recent wins I have, my daily quest. Again, I mentioned if you have pictures in here. So let me show you. So let's say you had a picture in here that wasn't generic, but let's say it was, you know, the picture that you took yourself. Basically, you can see like a whole collage of different, like how your week has been going in pictures. And I really like that, right? It's like 1 picture a day kind of thing. And it gives you a good opportunity to look back. You can see all the things you're reading recently. Again, this is something that I just like showing. It's in terms of like, hey, this is me, you know, it's me on a database, it's me on paper. So I like that a lot. Another thing that you guys can show is your convenience store is something I use on my phone. It's just basically a lot of useful views that I just put in one page that makes it really easy for me to navigate and find. So that on my phone, I don't have to scroll through so much stuff. I can just go straight to the database that I care about. Another thing is the review cycles. So I guess this is probably the last thing I'll talk about today. This is the way that I plan out all the things I have to do. So on a quarterly basis, I'll go in and I'll start planning out all my different things to do in terms of how my areas I'm going to focus on, as well as my values that I want to focus on. On a monthly basis, I'm going to focus on my sub areas, my goals, and my key results. On a weekly basis, I'll focus on my projects and habits. And on a daily basis, what you just saw earlier is my tasks and my content. So in this case, what I want to share is that it's really important for you to be diligent with your daily quests, because they end up rolling up into your weekly insights. So on a weekly insights level, you'll be able to see all the different moods that you have throughout the week, all the different words that you had. So it comes together to be a word cloud, the key habits you wanted to track, the sleep you've had, the outputs. These are all things I've covered in the live stream already, so I'm not going to go too in depth in it. But again, the whole idea is that now we finally have a very holistic view of what it means to be intentional. And if you are interested in this, basically it comes with L Control. So if you already subscribe to L Control, you already have it. For gamification, for people who are using just the gamification projects, all these intentional dashboards are not available just because they connect with so much of the intentionality components, all the auxiliary parts of the system. So therefore, I do recommend you check out L Control if you care about intentionality. But otherwise, if you are just happy with the gamification elements, which totally fine. I think that's great too. If you just need the motivation, then you have the dashboards, the fantasy world, and the captions lock to use. I think I will improve the fantasy world at some point in the future, but essentially you can go in and you can just basically see all the different things that you're meant to do, if you want to do them. And yeah, again, it's just all putting them into the most relevant dashboard. And I think my closing thoughts on this is I just want to make it so easy for you to learn about the system, learn how it works, learn how you're going to make your own specific dashboards out of them. And then from there, how are you going to essentially grow your system to what you need it to do? And I think that is something that's is incredibly important for me. Do you guys have any questions? I'm happy to answer any questions at this time. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just really happy I'm able to present this to you guys, and all the work over the last few quarters has come through, from the website to the academy to the current system that's been out there right now, all the hundreds of hours being spent. And I think also the Level Up bootcamp coming up, I think that's also very exciting. So if you want to join us on this journey and basically build out your system together with us, as a community member, you're definitely invited to join us inside our Gilded Space to come together and start planning out, what's my purpose, right? What's the ways I'm going to achieve what I want in terms of success plan? How am I going to consistently get there through Daily Quest? And what are the review cycles that I'm going to do? All these things are so important to know. And I'm so glad that every single week as a community, starting on the first week of every month, we go through these 4 stages so that anybody who is trying to figure it out in their lives can also do it together with us. So if you're interested in that, join us in the community. We have a brand new way of joining the community now. If you're already in the community, you don't need to know this. But if you haven't joined the community yet, you can basically go to our website. You can click join our family right here. And you can submit an application and you can just get right in, which is amazing. And on top of that, I think if you have the opportunity, you have the time, and you want to level up your life, do join the Level Up Bootcamp. We have a few of the students inside our stream right now. So happy if you want to learn from them and see what their experience was like, ask them, right? They have the roles on Gilded. They're called Level Up Students and Level Up Alumni. Check that out. You can ask them about their experience and they can tell you all about it. And hopefully you can join us too. Signups close on the 4th, which is Monday. Aside from that, thank you so much for your engagement, guys. Really happy to have you guys here. That's it from me. Thank you again. I will be updating the academy for the rest of this weekend. There'll be videos coming out later on today as well. I'm finally releasing my year in review, so be excited for that. Just really so much stuff is coming out. Thank you so much for your patience, guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye now.